Welcome, everybody. Thank you for tuning in. This is officially IHP Interact Health Pro podcast, episode number 1. I will be your host, Gregory Filion.
I'm going to be the co-host. My name's Miles Lefthoff. Before we get into it, I want to give you a brief intro on who I am. All right, so I've been a hockey player my entire life, and through a series of injuries and some concussions and some lingering effects, I realized that I want to learn about the body. I want to learn about kinesiology. I want to learn about healthcare, and I want to give others the treatment that I missed. So that's why I came into this Interact Health Pro. Now, our director, our creative founder, that's Lucy Porter. I'm giving her the intro. Let her tell you about who she is.
Hi, everyone. I'm super excited to be here today. And first of all, thank you so much, Miles, for a lovely introduction, and Gregory for being here today. Yes, I'm very honored to be here today. First of all, there has been so much progress. I've been working extremely hard for the past 3.5 years, creating Interact Health Pro so that I could support and enable others who suffer from acute and chronic pain with solutions to progress and have a better quality of life. So this is what Interact Health Pro is all about, is providing resources and support, enabling people to recover positively and have a better quality of life.
So, Lucy, if I may ask, how did IHP Interact Health Pro become a thing?
Well, there's a little bit of a history on my background in order for you to have clarity on what happened for this. I call it the light bulb went on, and I decided that day that this would be incredible. So for past 30 years, I worked as a business development person who worked with rehabilitation centers and law firms. I would go in and interview everyone that worked there, so I understood what their roles were about, and I would try to balance the teams and sometimes hire new people, sometimes let go. It's not always pleasant, but it happens. I would create policies, procedures, protocols, manuals, and train everyone on that. Once this was in place, then we'd often bring in paperless software program, especially in the past 10, 15 years. So I would implement that with a team of technical people and train everyone on it. Then we would rebrand and do a marketing campaign. In the old days, marketing campaign were, a lot of handshakes, actually. You would go in person, you'd make friends with the doctor's office receptionist, so you can get to meet with the doctor and introduce that clinic to the family practitioner. And hopefully they would send you clients. That was basically, in a nutshell, part of the marketing campaign. You'd also send out postcards. Well, that doesn't exist anymore. There was even, faxes going out. Every Monday morning would send out thousands of faxes to all the different companies to let them know the business existed, especially with law firms. Now, this is also no longer in place. And I suffered injuries. I suffered an accident back in 2017. And I'm telling you this today, not so that you feel sorry for me, so that you understand where I come from and what motivated me to create Interact Health Pro. So basically, I was walking, was hit by a car and left there to die. I don't know what happened to me because I suffered 2 major concussions, so mild brain injury, as well as amnesia. So I really don't know what happened to me till this day. And I also don't remember my past. This is one of my biggest challenges. I am still suffering from post-concussion syndrome. So one of them is, if you notice, I'm never looking straight at the computer the whole time because it bothers my eyes. Everything triples up. It becomes difficult and challenging for me. The other one is I have no memory. I won't remember what I did 5 minutes ago. This is my life. Listen, I'm grateful to be here. I'm grateful that I'm dysfunctional and able to actually interact and even develop a business such as Interact Health Pro with a lot of handwriting notes and a lot of support from other people. And we'll come back to that. We'll circle back to the support. So as part of my injuries, I suffered obviously the brain injuries, fractured my sacrum, major damage to my neck, where eventually I'm going to need surgery. The reality is, for 8 months, I hid in the dark. I couldn't look at a phone. I couldn't look at a computer. I couldn't even stand any noises, any sounds. It literally would hurt me, hurt my head. Again, the lights, the noises, the sounds, even the touch, somebody touching me, it would hurt. I was in pain in so many different parts of my body. I didn't even know what was what anymore. And because I lost my past, I didn't remember that I knew all these doctors and lawyers that I'd worked with in the past. So after about 8 months, I got a phone call from one of the practitioners I worked with quite a lot. And he literally called me and said, "Hey, Lucy, what's going on? You're too busy. You're not coming by to visit us anymore. You're not calling. What's going on? Like, we've been so close for so many years." And sure enough, I had no idea who he was, but I explained what had happened to me. He says, "Oh my God, get in here. Let's have a look. Let's see if we can help you." And he literally put his team of practitioners. He started with an osteopath, which did some cranial work on me, which was absolutely magnificent. Then he put an acupuncturist on me, so that because they couldn't touch me, so that we could help releasing the pressure and the density of my muscles and my soft tissues, because I've been like this for so long. Release some of that so that they could actually physically work on me. Then there was some physiotherapists that worked on me. I had, like I said, acupuncture, physiotherapists, massage therapists. They literally supported me. They took me and they put me back together. I was like a broken bird. And after that, I felt so grateful. And then I decided, wait a minute, I have access to all these practitioners right here at this clinic. Let's see if I can do something more. But this is not when the actual trigger happened. As a result of my injuries, I also suffered major depression. And I mean major depression. You try hiding in the dark for 8 months and suffering in pain, not knowing what to do, who to turn to, who to trust, and what to do next. It was horrible, because I didn't remember my past. Meanwhile, I had access to all these people I didn't know about. And then I went to CAMH. I signed up with CAMH for day therapy, and I went there for 7 months. And my biggest goal when I was at CAMH was to actually be there without crying for one day. It never happened. And all of the 7 months of therapy, I still cried every time that I went. And it was my release, because I never cried when I was alone or in front of other people. It is so important to have the support psychologically, physically, in every aspect to recover properly. So for me, I was asked to go look at my pictures, images, anything that I had to try and find some triggers to maybe learn something from my past or have some of it come back to me. Well, it worked, but not in the way that we intended. I landed on my agenda, my day timer, and that had a lot of doctors' phone numbers in there and lawyers. And this is when I went, wait a minute, who are these people? Let's see if I can reconnect with them. And I did exactly that. I picked up the phone and I made some phone calls. Like, hey, it's Lucy Porter. Oh my God, how are you? It's been a while. Love to talk to you. I wanted to tell them about an idea I had. So this idea flourished and became Interact Health Pro.
That is an absolutely fantastic story. I mean, unfortunately, it's tragic. Some of the injuries sound very severe, but I think the positives that we can take from that are that you found a great rehabilitation team. You found a lot of great support and a lot of people in your life that help support that recovery. And I know that's what drives me. And I believe that what drives all of us here is that we just want to give that same kind of support that we've experienced in our life to others who are going through the same thing. So if you don't mind, why don't you explain how you transitioned from everything being like in person to, actually meeting people and shaking hands to now we've gone to this virtual world. Do you mind sharing that expansion?
Yes, thank you so much for asking, Miles. It's such an important question. So initially, I grouped together 12 clinics that specialize in certain services such as scoliosis, concussion, spinal decompression, spinal stenosis, sports injury. I want it to be different from every other, anywhere you go, there's a clinic that you can just go for physio. Here's the thing. I remember from working with clinics and past experiences that when you go to the family doctor, great. They either write a script or they send you for physiotherapy. Well, which one's the right one for you? There's one at every street corner. How are you going to determine which one is going to give you the treatment that you need for your specific injuries or challenges? Right? It could be chronic pain, so it doesn't have to be an injury. Then this is when I started considering, wait a minute, we have to offer specific recovery options, right? So initially, I grouped up 12 clinics that I was doing business with across the GTA, and I was going to start representing their services. And I started in 2 territories, and I was going to start marketing to family doctors and orthopedic surgeons about Interact Health Pro services. However, well, we had a pandemic, and that really, really changed everything. And I had 2 options. I could have gone back to bed, back to depression, feeling sorry for myself, or start to grow. And this is when I realized, wait a minute, everybody's doing everything online now. So there's this option, this amazing vehicle where I could touch even more lives. And I decided to take a course, learn how to market online, because, handshakes were not going to work anymore, as Miles said. This led me to realize that after 3 months of not having treatment myself, because all the clinics were closed down, I was regressing, and I regressed by about 50%. This was marginal for me because now I felt lost again, and I was scared. So I thought, you know what, we can create some virtual care programs, and I'm going to reach out to my practitioners and see if they're willing and wanting to learn how to do virtual care. And then we can create programs and provide that to people so that everyone has access to treatment still. Well, that went really, really well, but there was still one challenge. A lot of people were now without work, couldn't afford treatment, and didn't have the ability they didn't have extended health care anymore because they were not employed and didn't know what to do. So I decided to create something called a do-it-yourself program where anyone can have access to treatment, but it's something you do yourself. I hired an occupational therapist, and she created 9 body part programs specifically to help you regain strength. Sorry. There goes my challenges, my memory, I get excited and then the butterflies come in and then I can't say what I want to say. It's not connecting. So forgive me for that, but I'm grateful that I have that to work with. So back to so we created 9 body parts, and there's about 20 exercises in each program where you actually do it at home. You have access to it on any browser, so a cell phone, a TV, a smart TV, sorry, your laptop, desktop, it doesn't matter. And you have your own programs that are created, preset for you, and you get to track how it's affecting you. This is, I think, key to staying motivated. You can get programs anywhere you want, but those that when you know that you're progressing or that this exercise is too challenging for you, so you're going to set it back and you're going to do less reps maybe and do less maybe weights, depending on what the program is. There's a lot of it that has no weights at all in it, so you don't need to worry about having, tools at home to do it with. You can use your chair, you can use a towel. The exercises that are created so you can do it in the comfort of your own home, even while you're at work. I know that many of us have been spending hours, countless hours, sitting and just typing away. So the wrists are going, the neck is going, the back is going. Well, take 15 minutes and just pull out your do-it-yourself program with a Thrive Plus tool that you can actually measure how you're doing, how well you're doing. And this encourages you to keep at it because you're seeing for yourself how you're progressing every day. I think that's key. But the other beauty of it is super inexpensive. Everybody can afford it. Everyone can afford this. So I highly recommend you can come and check out our programs. You can choose from one body part. You can choose 3 body parts as a second program. Because quite often when someone is injured or is suffering from acute and chronic pain, it's not just one area. You know, your hip hurts on the right, you start using your left leg. Now all of a sudden your knee is going, or your ankle on the other side, right? So always keep that in mind. It's good to have 3 body parts. So I find that that's the most valuable program. And then there's one with all 9 body parts. Some of you who want to try all of it, there's a lot of value in it because it's less expensive. It is really inexpensive, all of it, regardless. So we give you a 2 weeks trial, so you try it on for free and decide whether if this is for you or not. And then after that, you're committed for 3 months because there is no therapy program that's going to fix you in 1 or 2 sessions or a week or 2. In fact, from my experience, I bet you Miles can agree to that, is that people go in, spend money on physiotherapy, you go in person, you do your physio, and then what happens next? He give you exercises to go do at home. And then you don't do them because you don't have a cute, sexy little tracking tool such as Strive Plus to see your progress, right? So that's the first thing. You're not motivated. You have nobody there to support you. So at least you have something to do just that. Encourage you to stay on top of it and track yourself. Okay, so back to being in physio. When you're physio, you go once, you go twice, you go 3 times, you go, oh, this doesn't work for me. It's no good. You go try the next person, and you try the chiropractor, and you try this one, and you try that one. They all do the same thing. They normally give you something to do at home that you're not doing. This is why our do-it-yourself program is so powerful, because it will keep you motivated. The other beauty of it is that we did create some virtual care programs for not just virtual care, some programs with one-on-one treatment. So you can do virtual care, you can do in-person. I have clinics across the GTA now. I'm up to 50 plus, which I'm really, really proud of, that will work with you. And you can use them as a combination as well. You can do either virtual care fully, so you don't have to worry about fighting traffic. If you're a mom, I've raised 2 kids on my own, let me tell you, dragging my kids to go for treatment, because I had treatments in the past, it's not my first accident, and let them sit there in the room while I'm getting treated was challenging enough. And worse, now you can't even bring them into treatment. You still need that treatment. So let's do it virtually. The beauty of virtual care is that they actually see you in your own environment, and they're able to support you and show you how to do it within your home. Because when you learn it at the rehab, it's different from what you get at home completely. So that's one option. The other option is to do a combination. You might want to go in person and still have to support when you're at home to make sure you're doing it right. And you can have your one-on-one completely. However, the beauty of it is you're still going to be able to use Thrive Plus. So what we do is, if you decided to start with just the do-it-yourself program and you feel you need more than that, then we can merge that into an actual 6, 8, or 12 weeks program, virtual, combination, or one-on-one, in person, because they're all one-on-one anyways. And that data that's been accumulated is actually going to be transferred in so that the practitioner is going to actually see what you've been doing and what's working, what's not working for you. So all of it is a gain. There's no waste. It's a gain for you to be pain-free, hopefully down the road. I don't promote healing or guaranteeing that you're going to be 100% perfect. This is not what I claim. I want to support you and give you the tools that you need so that you can mobilize and have a better quality of life. There's another area that I'm really, really passionate about. That's personal injury. As a result of my accident and having worked with personal injury lawyers for years, I want to support those of you who were just like me, who had no idea what to do, who to turn to, who to trust, and what's going to happen next, especially when it comes to managing your claim with insurance companies. There's a lot of paperwork. Again, you don't know which rehab is going to run your file properly, and I can really support you with that. This is what my huge passion is. My goal is to ensure that there's proper communication between you, your practitioner, your primary caregiver, so that you have the best possible course of recovery. Your family doctor has a big say into what your needs are for your treatments, and the rehabilitation centers that I work with are listening to the practitioners, to your primary caregivers, your family doctor or your orthopedic surgeon, and I'm able to obtain the requirements, the results, the reports. I'm able to obtain that and provide that to your rehab center so that they can treat you according to those needs. I think that's extremely, extremely important. There's the other thing. Your physiotherapist is there to treat you. They don't run your file. Your lawyer is busy in court. Try getting a hold of them. You're confused. You don't know what to do. You're getting these letters, these emails. You don't know what it's about. I'm going to answer those questions for you. This is what our team here at Interact Health Pro takes pride in, is giving you that support that you need so that you can focus on your recovery while we take care of the rest. We create a plan for you and you focus on getting better. I wish I could put everybody back to their normal life. It's not always possible. Yet there's so much I can do to ease the transition into your new lifestyle, because it is a reality when we have this kind of injury. It's going to be a new lifestyle. It's going to take time, and I know I'll never be the same. I'm grateful for the team that worked on me. Nobody supported me, but I'm grateful for Dr. Fung, who took me under his wings and really literally put me back together. I was like a little broken bird. And now look at me. It's remarkable. I want to cry when I say this story because it's changed my life, and I'm ever so grateful. And my goal, is to do the same, is to touch you in a way that you're going to be able to function to the best of your ability with your reality, because it is what it is, a reality. So for those who have personal injuries, I'd love to support you. I'd love to be there for you. But I'm not limited to that. I want to support everyone who has challenges with physical, acute, and chronic pain. So I think that was really touching for me. I'm not sure about you, but this is where my motivation came from. I've always been in compassion, caring, and loving. And now I'm able to actually share that with the world. And the more lives I touch, the better I feel.
First of all, I will say wonderful, wonderful story. It was very touching. And one of the things that I do find that's very underrated, that most people don't see, is the grind and the heart and the passion that's taking place to have projects and programs like this to even come to fruition. So I see that you've put the work to get here, but I want to ask, what do you see for IHP, Interact Health Pro, in the future? What are certain goals or milestones that you hope to reach?
Well, right now, we're simply wanting to brand. We want to get noticed out there. And I can't do everything myself. And obviously, I'm on disability, so I don't have a huge budget to spend on hiring a bunch of people to support me. And as I said, I don't remember what I did 5 minutes ago, let alone learning all these crazy programs that are available out there and how to do these marketing campaigns. So I need support. And because I believe in giving back, I believe in the community, I decided to, it was really strange. In January, I decided to hire a couple of interns, medical interns, first of all, because of the pandemic. They don't have access to going on site to actually have training. And one of the things that I know, because I used to hire interns for clinics when I did business development for them, is that nothing prepares these students for actual business. They don't understand the concept of the business. They understand the medical, they want to treat, they want to touch patients, but they have no idea of what that comes with. No idea whatsoever, let alone business. What about marketing their services? right? So for me, I wanted to share that knowledge with them. And because I have access to so many practitioners, it was easy for me to bring them in and have them interviewed by my students so that they could relate and prepare for their future. And when I look at today's students, our university students, they work so hard, and it's so hard for them to get opportunities. So I find that this is a way for me to give back into the community. Literally, they are tomorrow's future. There are students, but I mean, I'm going to retire eventually. Who's going to take my place? Someone has to do that. And why not better prepare them for their future? And the reality, I mean, in school, they do projects, but here at Interact Health Pro, they're getting hands-on startup business, which is really, really exciting because we're really pulling up our sleeves and thinking and planning together. It's not something that I go, here, go do this, and that's it. I involve every one of them to work with me. So from January till May, I had 12 students. We did a lot of the planning more than anything else. And I'm really proud to say that in May, I started with a new group of interns. And this time I have 17 students, which is huge. It's a lot of dedication on my part because I want to make sure that they're successful and that they gain a lot of knowledge and experience. And at the same time, they're supporting me. So we're working together. We meet every day, Monday to Friday. Some of them meet with me on the weekends. And we spend about 4 hours a day planning, launching Interact Health Pro. And in order for us to get known, we're now offering a 30-day free trial, no commitment, no credit card. We don't want nothing from you. We just want you to try the do-it-yourself program and figure out how it works for you. And we're in the midst of creating a program for golfers because we know that there's not much out there with the pandemic. And literally, we're going to create a program for golfers to use for a very minimum fee. But first, you go ahead and have your 30-day free trial, pick a body part, get ready to go play, get ready to have your A game on. And let's strengthen your body because a lot of us have been sitting at home doing nothing. We're not ready to go walk a course. We're not ready to swing well, I know I'll never be ready for either or. Not for a long time anyways. Maybe one day it will. But really to go walk the course and to go take a swing, the backs are going to go out, the wrists are going to go out, the elbows, the whole works. So we are offering those body parts, one of each. You pick one, and then you can have your 30-day free program on Interact Health Pro, just as a thank you for using our services. And, it would be nice to have some testimonials to tell us how it works. I want honest. I want to know what if this has affected you positively, or if you didn't use it, and why you didn't use it, and what we're doing wrong, if we are doing anything wrong, so that we can improve our service so that everybody has access to treatment. Bottom line. That's my biggest goal. And then as we grow, we will start introducing the 6, 8, and 12 weeks programs. We also offer a discovery session. We can say, okay, 6, 8, 12 weeks programs, but what happens, right? How do you know which one is right for you? So we call it a 15 minutes discovery session. This 15-minute discovery session, we can have this conversation. What happened to you, how it happened to you, what you're looking for, and what if this is something we can help you with? Because I don't pretend that I can give everybody what they need. I mean, I wish I was this powerful, but I'm only a little baby right now, and our Interact Health Pro is a little baby, and we're just going to grow naturally, not by pushing and neglecting that quality of service that we want to offer, right? I really want to keep offering that positive support. I want you to feel that you are supported, not, oh yeah, we're just another number to count now because they've gotten so big, right? So I want to keep it at that level. When I do hire staff, eventually they're going to have to have compassion. They're going to have been in those shoes so that they can support you. They can understand you. They can understand what you're going through. So 6, 8 weeks program, we offer 15 minutes consultation for free. It's a discovery session. Discover what you are being what you've been through, and you discover what we can offer you. Then, for someone with a more serious injury, like a sports injury, for example, or concussion, many of us are suffering from concussion and we have no idea what can be done. You know, concussion, there are treatments for concussion. There is such thing as treatment. And going to bed for a couple of days is a great idea, but that doesn't stop there. There's so much more to it. And I'm going to be hosting webinars and doing interviews with doctors on specific subjects as acute and chronic pain, sports injuries, concussion, personal injuries. You can speak to lawyers. You can ask your questions. I'm really proud of that. I actually did a Pain Pro Summit back in June last year, and we're going to recycle some of that material and actually show it so that you can see the potential and the resources that we actually have access to. It's quite phenomenal. Very proud of that. And I lost track of where I was, which I do that all the time. Recycle. So with somebody with a sports injury or concussion, you need a little bit more time to understand what your needs are, because there's different types of treatment. There's visual, there's earrings, there's the balance, there's the light that can bother you. You may need special glasses. There's different types of treatment. So not everybody has the same symptoms. You know, some will be nauseous for months. I still get nauseous. When I'm done with this interview, my head's starting feeling the pressure now. I'm going to feel that nauseous feeling. That means, okay, stop everything you're doing, Lucy. You've pushed yourself to the limit. But I keep pushing myself a little bit more every day because that's what got me to where I am today. I was not here a year ago. I would not have been able to sit this long without having serious side effects that nobody knew about afterwards. I'm okay right now. I'm doing great. They're ringing in the ears, getting louder. That's a reality. This one is always worse. The right one's always worse. And that's one of the first signs. And a little bit of the pressure right here. That's just normal in my forehead. For those who are not seeing or listening, there's the thing. If I didn't know how to respond to these and started taking medication, you know, it covers the problem. It doesn't address your concussion. Your brain heals itself. So how do you do that? Meditation is a great tool. It's a fantastic tool, right? So for me, that's been one of my go-to at all times. I have different types of meditation that I listen to every night when I go to bed, when I wake up in the morning, because I wake up in pain and it takes me a while to get moving. But when I focus on my breathing, focus on positive affirmation, it sets my body into a different place instead of focusing on the pain. So little tricks like that. Okay, but there's also practitioners that will give you proper concussion treatment. I have access to that. I have lots, and I have something in the play that I can't talk about quite yet. That's going to be another incredible new program for people who suffer from concussion. But I'm just going to be quiet until I have that in place. So we do a 60 minutes plan of recovery option for you. You spend 60 minutes, an hour, listening to what you've been through, whether if you've been diagnosed or not, what type of practitioners you've seen, whether if you've received treatment and how that affected you, and whether if there's any imaging reports, orthopedic surgeons reports, neurological reports, any type of reports that we can connect to your injuries or your concussion, and take that to the practitioner, because I'm not a doctor, I can't give you medical advice. But take that information, have it all ready for the practitioner to do a proper analysis, and then set you up with the program that you need, right? The program that's right for you. So I think that's really important. Many of us go into any rehabs because we think we're going to get all the answers. Meanwhile, they're not necessarily the right program for you, okay? I'm not saying there's bad rehabs out there or bad practitioners. I'm saying they are better at certain things than others, okay? I'm great with people, but I can't give you a massage, I guarantee that, okay? So that's one reality. And then I have one more level. For personal injury, such as slip and fall or car accidents, that takes even longer because we need even more details, especially when it comes to completion of forms. You know, you get a package from the insurance company that's this thick, you got 5-6 forms to fill out. It is confusing, you're in pain. You don't know where to start. I know that, especially if you had a concussion, you have neck injury or any other type of injury, trying to hold a pen and fill in these forms is extremely challenging. Let us support you with that. Okay. So what I do is I ask all the questions that would be in the initial application, and I have all those answers, and then we'll put them in for you. That's part of what we offer. There's no fee involved to that. It's about an hour and a half initial consultation. And again, we call it a plan of recovery option. Okay, because there's different needs. Same thing. If you need rehabilitation, which one are you going to go to? Which one is going to maximize your treatment plan? Which one is going to get the most out of your benefits for you? Really, really important. How are you going to get there? Yeah. If you're working and your work is finished at 6 and you got to get home to the kids, and when are you going to fit physio in there? So what do? We find a place that's closer to your work so you can access physio while you're on break or something like that. Before you start work or at lunch or right after work, then you can get home to your kids. It's really, really important to keep that in mind. What if you live in a rural community? What are you supposed to do now? I have access to physio virtually now. What if you can't drive because you're scared? What are you going to do? How are you going to get to physio? Or what about ever driving again? There are training for that. We do an assessment. We determine what's happened to you, what's causing the fear, and then we'll get you some treatment for that. There's absolutely nothing wrong with that. And one of the biggest one when it comes to personal injury is psychological. People say, "Oh yeah, no, I'm not doing a psychological assessment." This is no. Listen, we're not going to, lock you into a mental institution. You have something called post-traumatic stress disorder. It just happens to every driver that gets into an accident. So you get some tools and tricks on how to deal with it. And that's really important to your case. It's really important to your recovery, right? If you're not well mentally, how are you going to get physically back to where you need to be? So those are all the things you need to consider. And doing it alone, I'll give you a free book on how to deal with the insurance company on your own. I have one. Going to be putting it out there very soon. It wasn't created by me, not a lawyer. I have a lawyer that I work very closely with that's created a book for you guys. For anyone out there who wants to learn how to deal with the instruments on their own, all the power to you. Better is to come to me. I'll really come to Interact Health Pro. We will not only help you with the right lawyer for you, finding the right rehab location, dealing with your assessments, and filling out your forms, but we're also going to ensure that you have the support that you need while you go through all this. I call it an ordeal because it changes your life in so many ways you can't even begin to imagine. And the other part is that who do you talk to? Because your family looks at you, there's nothing wrong with you. Why aren't you getting better? You're not all broken up. You're not in a cast. You don't have cuts. But you feel it physically. Soft tissue injuries is quite dramatic on the body and on the mind. So I think that says it all. I'm here for you. Interact Health Pro, we are ready to support you. And we're really, really excited to change lives.
Thank you so much for sharing all that information. You covered a ton of things. There's a few points that I'd like to just reiterate to make sure that everyone who's listening, everyone who's watching can make sure they know at home. We have the self-care program that is virtual. You can do it anywhere, absolutely anywhere you are. If you have a more serious injury, we can do a consultation with you. We can do that over the phone, of course, to make sure, again, it's virtual, we can just call you in. If you need physical treatment for some of the more serious injuries, we have clinics that we're connected with all across Ontario. We can make sure that we find one close to you. That way you can get the right treatment, you can recover to the best of your ability, and of course, it's going to be convenient to you. I want to say, before I pass it off to Greg to end off, there's a team, as Lucy mentioned, of about 20 of us. we're all very passionate in helping you recovery. We're all working together to assist you, and we want to be a part of the process. So thank you all for listening. Hand it over to Greg.
If I may, I'd like to thank both of you as well for having me here. I'm absolutely delighted to see this launch coming to life. Just one little correction. Right now, Miles, we only have clinics across the GTA in Ontario. We can do virtual care anywhere in Ontario. And our next guest speaker is going to be an actual personal injury victim who I've supported, and she will share with us some of her experience working with an Interact Health Pro.
Sounds great. Thank you again, Lucy.
Thank you.
And thank you, Miles. So again, everybody, that was Lucy Porter, founder, creator of IHP Interact Health Pro. And this podcast, what we're trying to do, we're going to attempt to give you guys weekly episodes. So please tune in whenever you can on your free time. If you're driving home, you want to listen in. To the listeners, thank you again for listening in, and have a great day.
Awesome. Thank you so much.